Hello, everyone. This is Chen Junshi from the Department of Financial System Audit, China National Audit Office. It is an honor to be invited to this meeting, and I was told to introduce some of the developments, practices, opportunities, and challenges about big data audit in China. So actually, I took part in the similar meetings to different working groups on InterSci, like the working group on big data, the working group on financial modernization, and the regulatory reform. On these groups, data application, information technology are always the keywords as well. We all know that in recent years, information technology has significantly influenced most aspects of human society, in particular, the information technology revolution represented by mobile internet, cloud computing, big data, and artificial intelligence is rising. In this process, new technological innovations have generated exponential growth of data in a variety of forms, which provides a basis for more rational and efficient decision making for the governments or the enterprises. Huge number of data brings us the era to the big data. In this era, data has been recognized as one of the most valuable strategic resources for countries. For size, conducting big data audit has become a necessity in response to this very era. Looking back on the development of China's financial system audit in the past years, data and technical methods have always been an important force driving forward our work. To some extent, the depth of our work is reliant on the skillfulness of us in applying data and technical methods. The more data available and the more advanced technology, the better we can meet the needs for guarding against and reducing financial risks. Overall, the development of data application in China's financial system audit can be divided into three stages. At the first stage, the data used in financial system audit was limited to commercial banks, and the analytical techniques were relatively simple, mainly in the basic SQL, VB, etc. Even so, the scope of audit was significantly expanded. Through the comparison of data from commercial banks, we were able to study credit, interbank business, financial services, asset management business, and other banking business, which paved the foundation for the further study of overall risks in the financial market. First, we use the credit data and reflect the changes in the asset quality of commercial banks, which helped generate many audit findings reflecting credit risks. Second, as the data was expanded into interbank and assets management business, some financing methods with similar functions as credit, yet not counted as such, were also included in our analysis, helping us develop a more comprehensive and complete understanding of shadow banking and play an important role for us to help the financial regulators improve the supervision on shadow banking. Third, we also reviewed many clues of malpractices, such as the defrauding of huge loans, illegal lending, and the cases where relevant executives use the right to allocate credit resources for personal gains. And at the second stage, the scope of data was expanded from commercial banks to other financial institutions and even the whole financial sector. At that time, we mainly focused on the bond market, the stock market, foreign exchange market, futures market, and other derivatives or other financial markets. A typical example is called the bonds market storm by the media. We started with bond transaction data and applied the data analysis methods of commercial banks in the bond market. This reviewed a large number of clues from malpractices concerning the use of loopholes in the bond market to transfer huge profits, directly promoting the regulators to carry out market-wide cleanup. For example, when we find the clues of illegal fundraising and underground banking, we analyze those suspicious accounts and find the accounts mostly have similar characteristics, such as the duration of the accounts is very short, the transaction type is very simple, only for transferring rather than consuming. The transaction frequency is very different from normal accounts. They are very frequent, like millions at a day. The IP and MAC address used in the transaction are the same, indicating that they are controlled by the same person or group. In terms of the analytical methods at the stage, we have accumulated a lot of experiences in handling specific issues. We abstracted a model based on the features of the data in each case and apply it to a wider range of data to identify more individual problems. For example, we have formed special data models for abnormal flow of cross-border capital and the various fraudulent fundraising crimes, especially the rat trading, insider trading, and the market manipulation in the capital market. At the third stage, the data is no longer limited to financial sector. For example, through the cooperation with the auditing departments, we have reviewed some problems existing in the real estate sector by combining financial data with data of tax revenue and land transaction. In this case, we found that some commercial banks didn't make overall consideration of housing mortgage and other loans. Some residents purchased houses with high leverage for speculative reason, and a few real estate agencies engaged in financial residence house purchasing, which eventually affected the effectiveness of regulative policies. In fact, we have many cases in this regard. The most mainstream method currently used is to integrate all data for audit analysis. Here's another example. Several years ago, China had the largest number of Ubersoft coin in the world. It is like a mining machine for Bitcoin, which you might be familiar with. China has a vast territory. In winter, strong wind in the northern China creates abundant wind power resources. A large number of Bitcoin mining machines were located in northern China in winter. In summer, the Henduan Mountains in southwest China are rich in water resources, and these machines were located there to enjoy cheap hydropower. We found that a large amount of power resources are consumed and wasted, and some local government even cover up this behavior because a large amount of power generation can create the illusion of economic prosperity. This audit result is found through the analysis of normal power data. From the technical perspective, at the third stage, more new technologies and methods have been applied to auditing practices, especially the use of big data technologies such as unstructured data processing, visualization tools, and intelligent technologies, which enable us to surpass the limitation of imprecision. In the past, we often formed some judgment based on the experiences and then use the data to verify. The use of big data enable us to form preliminary conclusions through data mining before we have formed any conclusion, helping us to finally make our findings. And after the three stages, it can be said with no exaggeration that big data has a profound impact on every aspect of financial system audit this year. Thinking methods and techniques of big data has driven the reform in the overall model of financial system audit. In terms of project planning, supported by the big data, we're able to plan for a larger number and more important projects, pushing for the full coverage of audit. In terms of project organization, as the financial regulatory authorities and the financial institutions all show a trend of increased concentration of business and the data at the headquarters, we also focus more on the audit of headquarters or head offices in the project organization, with more key staff moving upward. And each head office will set up an integrated group. One of the most important roles of the integrated group is to coordinate data analysis. From financial perspective, we have set up a special financial market study group across various projects to conduct data analysis in every field, study the macro, across industry, and across sector risks, and tackle the major and hotspot issues in the financial sector. It is required that other projects shall offer necessary support to this group to ensure that financial system audit can play its role in responding to market hotspots issues and handling major emergent auditing affairs. This module is an attempt made by us after the application of big data, which has generated sound effects. A big data audit practice has only been carried out for like about 10 years in China, and it still faces a lot of difficulties and challenges. The first aspect is from an internal perspective. We usually encounter a series of challenges to big data thinking, audit organization models, professional expertise, and IT infrastructure. Most common problems are the lack of corresponding professional and technical challenges. The second aspect of challenges comes from the external environment. We now have no barriers in obtaining data legally because of our constitution. Also, in their cases, there might still be some barriers related to obtaining data, like the cost, the data, optimization, quality, and delays. In practices, obstacles are being occasionally raised by the auditees in order to avoid providing us with data appropriate for a complete in-depth analysis. In response to these challenges, we propose the following coping strategies. First is to develop long, medium, and short-term planning for big data audit in light of the level of digitalization as well as our mandates. I think we should we should take a long-term perspective with a firm grasp of current situation and following suitable big data technology. And second is to set up an IT application in auditing. At present, IT application differs greatly among size, which is closely linked to the performance of big data audit. It is suggested that in light of size respective circumstances, IT application should be strengthened step by step. Solid technical guarantees need to be provided for big data audit through data centers, analysis platforms, and innovations in data tools. And third is to strengthen the professional standards of auditors and upgrade audit organization and management methods. Big data expertise is generally lacking in size. It is recommended that we make greater efforts to enhance the overall competence of the audit team and ensure the capability of professionals. A big data analysis team or agency could be set up to help transfer the audit organizations from on-site audit to the combination of on-site audit and off-site data analysis. And the fourth one is to accelerate not only the promulgation, but also the implementation of laws and regulation. Data should be recognized as an important resource in the information era. It should be stipulated explicitly that size shall be empowered to obtain data from the auditees. The obligation of audited entities to cooperate and the punishments for those who refuse to provide audit or provide untruthful data should also be stipulated. And the last one is to enhance regional and international cooperation. Information sharing and experience exchanges in the area of big data audit at the institutional, regional, and inter-site level should be promoted, just like what we're doing now. At the same time, size should learn from the practices of other stakeholders, especially the public sector institutions. So this is all that I want to share with you today. Thanks for listening. Thank you.